Looks like my Twitch adventure is over. This is the first tweet I saw. This is kind of actually in a bad order, so I shouldn't. But this is how
the way we
saw
discovered it.
Right? So Morph says, if only the company who made Dead by Daylight could find any evidence that this is happening. It's just a game crash that we patched. Feel awful for this person having to go through this. Everybody feels so unsafe right now in Dead by Daylight, while BHVR claim it's not happening, right?
And so Emily was like, looked over at me and she was like, what the hell's this?
So I then read this tweet. Looks like my Twitch adventure is over. I can't and don't want to stream other games. It was my main source of income. Thanks for cyber cancelling a chronically ill small creator who's not even partnered, who wanted to escape an abusive household by becoming a full-timer. Clap.
Rough.
And I was like, what in the good Lord?
Yeah, what the
fuck is going on?
What
did she do to get cancelled? Who's cancelling her? How is that stopping you from streaming? Like, I've seen dudes on streams be actively accused of, like, serious crimes.
Yes.
And just put it in sub-only mode and move on, right? So I was like, well, what's going on? Right? And then she said, this message is for the attackers. I hope you step on 1,000 Legos. Then somebody said, and this is where I was like, oh, let me guess, got hit with a DDoS. Otherwise, I'm sorry to hear that. So she said, according to my ISP, I got hit since March the 10th. I switched to Epic, reset everything, and it was fine for a week, but this week I got hit again, and they now have my main IP that I can't switch. I'm so angry for the attackers being selfish. And I was like, what in the good Lord is going on here?
That's crazy.
Right?
Man.
So I scrolled down on her Twitter, and she was like, I don't know how others are currently able to stream Dead by Daylight, but I got DDoS now twice, even with Epic, even with a VPN, even with a dynamic IP. I am not able to stream and play the game outside. I'm losing my stream stats because I had to end the stream twice because of that. My internet is trash. After the attack for the rest of the evening, it almost got me kicked out of the house because it's not my internet. I just want to play the game that I love and be happy, but this entire bullshit is making me so unhappy. I haven't played in almost a week. I've been staying patient, but I miss playing without worrying, right? It's everything I have to cope with my severe depression and loneliness, and this has been taken away from me, so it's not my safe space anymore.
So it really says it's not just streamers getting hit either. Non-streamers are getting hit too.
So, Dead by Daylight tweeted out and literally said, it was 21 hours ago. Man, they've been tweeting a lot. So they tweeted out on the 13th of March and said, the team have been actively investigating reports of a distributed denial of service, DDOS, happening over the weekend to prominent streamers in our community. We'll update you. So the update came out, which said, oh yeah, we've investigated it, and as of yet, there's no evidence we have to suggest any personal IP addresses have been leaked. Many of the reports we've received correlate with a crash, which has since been fixed in our last update. But then people are saying, why is my stream always getting taken down every time I play this game?
Yeah, why?
Right?
If it's not, how am I getting DDoS then?
Yes. Please do your research in the number of Twitch VODs you've been tagged in showing what looks like they've gotten DDoSed live. I love the game, but we can't play it, put our safety at risk in some cases, our livelihood. We wouldn't tell you that if it didn't exist. So they've said, no, there's no problem. And people are then saying, no, I am 100% getting DDoSed only when I play Dead by Daylight. And Dead by Daylight are like,
no.
So, like, all the community are like, we're really disappointed. People are like, bruh. People are like, yeah, a crash that only affected 2 players on opposite sides of the earth in a 4-player lobby and messed up their whole internet. People are saying that after they've been DDoS, they've literally not even been able to get back online without, like, resetting their internet.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's really bad. And so, literally, it seems like no one believes them.
Yeah, dedicated denial of service attacks can be, like, really pervasive.
And all these people are saying, like, I am genuinely shocked by the number of people who are like, no, I've seen it. It's 100% not streamers making this up, right? Like, this has literally been happening. And the fact now that someone who's built their entire streaming career, loads of people are streaming it right now, it must be an area thing. No, it seems to just keep happening to streamers randomly, right? So,
well, it's probably like a malicious user, right? So someone in a Dead by Daylight community who is not a very nice person,
Yeah.
is basically, I guess, getting pissed off with certain streamers. So apparently, the woman before, she has said some disparaging things about Dead by Daylight, and then
criticized the game, and now can't play.
Yeah, so it looks like it might be just a rather choosy person. And don't get me wrong, there's not a ton of players playing it. Like, there's a few people in there, but like, there's only 4 people over 1,000 viewers.
Yeah,
it's usually a pretty popping game category.
Bear in mind as well that Relu is saying, for context on how many people have stopped streaming Dead by Daylight, because Relu has streamed Dead by Daylight in the past and is in the community. My live channels this time of the day, I usually have 8 to 10 Dead by Daylight streamers live. Currently, there's 2.
Yeah, because Relu's really into Dead by Daylight. She likes it. So, like, yeah, it's crazy. Honestly, Dead by Daylight is one of those games that has a really strong following. It's one of those games I've been tempted to get into, but I'm too scared.
Fred hates being chased.
I hate being chased. I really dislike it. And so it's... Yeah,
so
it sucks,
seems
man.
As though if somebody decides they don't like you, that somehow they are finding people's information. Dead by Daylight is saying it's not us. People are saying it literally only happens to me while I'm in Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, like, I totally get why people would be like, how is this happening? Please help us find out. And they're just not getting the information. The devs should do some live streams without a VPN to show how much they trust the game. Oof. People are even saying, like, yeah, have a dev play on your game without a VPN on your channel. Do it. There's still time to delete this. Play your own game, please. Stop ignoring me. I'm trying to make you mine.
Because basically, it used to happen quite often in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the old one back in the day, because that was a game that basically the player hosted the server, so it was like hosted on someone's local machine, and so it was really easy to get IPs, and if someone started losing, they just DDoS the host, and that would be it. That would be like, okay, because people really fucking cared about their like kill-death ratios and their win-loss ratios in that game. So you'd get like people who weren't even streamers or content creators, and sometimes they were YouTubers, who would basically, like, they'd be losing, and then they'd be like, right, let's kill it. Let's kill it. I'm not having these stats recorded on my account.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm thinking, Scotty, is I think that it's something connected with IPs to lobbies. They've said it's not, but it basically means that for a lot of people, there's no personal IP address leak. There's no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah.
Dude, that's such a creepy episode. Oh, it was really good though.
Yeah, so like voice over IP is usually quite notorious. The smell in the cap. Voice over IP is notorious for giving other people your IP address.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, I feel for these people, man. Honestly, I feel for them. Like, and often enough, and I don't want to be like, I'm not trying to say anything's anyone's fault, but if you get really into one game category, if you're like really into like Dead by Daylight, it's sometimes really fucking hard to transition to other games.
It's so hard.
So like you might be a 300 viewer Andy with like Dead by Daylight, but then you're like, okay, well, Dead by Daylight, I'm getting nuked all the time. Let's play a different game. You might go back down to like 50 viewers.
Yeah.
Because a lot of viewers will be like, I'm only interested in that.
It happened so often. I love this frog, by the way. It happens so often.
So
and I'm not going to lie, our transition, like, which took a long time over to being like true variety, was so hard, so slow, and you still needed like anchor games to go back to. And people can't just suddenly go, oh yeah, I'm just going to switch from the main game that I play non-stop, which there isn't even like a serious competitor. You know, but literally everybody disagrees.
I was like that with Arma 2 DayZ. Could not leave that game for years. Yeah, yeah. So it was the same for us for a little while with DayZ. But then we just basically played DayZ for the first 2 hours, and then we'd switch over to a different game.
And you'd lose loads of viewers, and you'd just keep doing it.
But people, you had to be extra charming when DayZ was on, so that people would stick with you.
Yeah, try your best.
Can't fool me. I'm familiar with your game.
But also, if there's one game that you're really good at. Oh, thanks, Twitter.
Well,
fuck looking at the memes.
Back to the top.
But if there's one game that you're really good at, it can also be really difficult to move over to something else that you're not as good at. So